The human ship Horizon 12 floated above the edge of the solar system, near the dark zone where stars were distant and cold. There was no noise, no signs of other ships, only silence. But something strange was about to happen. Captain Reynard stood on the bridge of Horizon 12, watching the radar. He had been in space for 17 years. He had seen many strange things. But today, the radar showed something he had never seen before. "Captain," said L.T. Sarah, the communication officer. "We are getting a signal, but it's not human." Reynard turned slowly. "Not human? Are you sure?" Sarah nodded. "Yes, sir. It's repeating every 7 seconds. It's not any known language. And it's not coming from inside our system." Reynard walked to her station. The screen showed a simple pulse. A deep sound, then silence, then again. Like a heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. "Can you trace it?" he asked. "I'm trying," Sarah said. "It's coming from Sector 61G, but that area is marked empty. No planets, no stations. Nothing." Reynard narrowed his eyes. "Change course. Head straight to 61G. His crew looked nervous. But they followed orders. 2 hours later, the ship entered Sector 61G. The radar was still clear. Nothing showed up. But the signal was stronger. Louder. Suddenly, the lights on the ship flickered. "Engineering!" Reynard shouted. "What happened?" "No damage, Captain," came a voice from below. "All systems are working, but power just dipped, like something drained us for a second." Reynard looked at Sarah. She looked pale. The signal changed. She said, "It's now saying something." Still not a language, but a pattern. Almost like ... coordinates. Reynard took a deep breath. "Let's follow it." As Horizon 12 moved closer to the source, strange things started to happen. Time felt slower. The stars outside looked twisted. Lights on the ship dimmed and flashed. "In strange rhythms, Captain," said the pilot, Mark. "I'm not flying anymore. The ship is moving by itself." Reynard rushed to the controls. Mark was right. The ship's system had locked out manual control. It was flying straight into empty space. Then the space in front of them ripped open. It looked like a black crack in reality. A hole that wasn't supposed to be there. The crew gasped. And out of the crack came something big. The alien ship was unlike anything they had ever seen. It was long, smooth, and made of something that looked like silver mist. It didn't move. It floated like it had always been there. Then, without warning, the signal stopped. Silence. Again, everyone stared at the screen. The alien ship turned slowly to face Horizon 12. Reynard ordered, "Shields up, ready weapons." "No." "Response from weapons system," said the weapons officer. "Everything's locked. We can't even send a message." Then a sound echoed through the ship. Not from the speakers, from inside their minds. "You are late." Everyone froze. Reynard whispered, "Who said that?" The voice came again. "You were not expected to arrive here. But now that you are here, you will see." And then everything went white. Back on Earth, 27 hours later, General Kincaid stood in the United Nations Military Command Center, watching the big screen. They had lost contact with Horizon 12. No signals. No data. Nothing. Gone. A room full of military and science leaders sat in silence. The message arrived. It wasn't from Horizon 12. It came from deep space. The message was simple. One line. "We have arrived. Do not resist." The room exploded in panic. Who sent this? Where did it come from? Is this a threat? Was it the aliens? General Kincaid raised a hand. Silence. Track the origin. One of the analysts replied, "The message came from just outside Earth's orbit. It's right above us." Everyone ran to the observation deck. In Earth's orbit, a ship now floated, massive, dark, silent. It was like a city in space. Bigger than anything humans had ever built. No engine trail. No heat. It just appeared, like a shadow that had always been there. Telescope zoomed in. The alien ship looked smooth. No lights, no weapons. Just there. And it wasn't alone. 3 more ships appeared. Then 6. Then 9. Each one parked in orbit. No message. No movement. Just watching. The world panicked. In cities across Earth, people stared at the sky. The ships could be seen even with the naked eye, like black moons. News channels ran 24/7. Some people screamed it was the end of the world. Some said it was first contact. Some prayed. Some loaded guns, but the ships stayed. Quiet. For 3 days. Until the 4th day. The United Nations formed a team of diplomats and scientists. Their mission: try to communicate. Try peace. They launched a message to the alien ship. We are humans. We welcome you. We wish to speak. No answer. Then the alien ship opened. A small door slid open on the side. A light came out. Then a platform extended like a long bridge from the ship to open space. Everyone waited. And then the aliens came out. They were not what humans expected. They were tall over 9 feet, thin bodies, skin like glass. Their eyes glowed like stars. They didn't float. They walked slowly across the platform, as if gravity did not matter to them. The humans sent their diplomat, Ambassador Harlan. He stood at the end of Earth's welcome ship, waiting. The first alien stopped in front of him. Harlan smiled and extended his hand. Welcome to Earth, he said. The alien looked at the hand, touched it, and screamed. A horrible, sharp scream, like metal being torn. The alien fell down. Its body cracked. The others stepped back. A flash of energy erupted. All of Earth's communication. Satellites shut down at once. Every ship in orbit lost power. And the alien said, in perfect English, "You've touched what you should never touch." Back on Earth, General Kincaid stood frozen. What just happened? Scientists were panicking. They disabled all our satellites. Our defenses are offline. They're inside our systems. The alien ship sent another message. We will not harm you. But the object is near, and it must not be awakened. Nobody knew what that meant, but deep in Antarctica, under layers of ice, something began to glow. Final scene of Part 1. Cliffhanger. The alien ship turns away from the human diplomats. A final message is sent on every frequency, every screen, every device. You found the signal, but you do not understand what it means. Do not dig. Do not open, or this planet will be unmade. The screen goes black. And under the Antarctic ice, something ancient wakes up. 3 days after the first message, Earth was still in shock. The alien ships remained above Earth, floating in orbit, silent, cold, watching. Every human country had gone on high alert. Military jets flew over cities. Warships circled oceans. People filled the streets in panic and fear. Internet was full of theories. Some believed it was an invasion. Others thought it was a test. But one thing was clear. The aliens were powerful. They had shut down satellites with a thought. They spoke in every human language. And they had warned Earth to stay away from something hidden deep in Antarctica. Still, the world wanted answers. The United Nations quickly formed a new team, a group of top scientists, generals, and diplomats. Their mission: to meet the aliens face to face. The ship Unity 1 was prepared. It was built for deep space missions, but now it had a new task: to carry the human delegation to the alien command ship for the first official meeting. On board were Ambassador Harlan, the lead diplomat Dr. Kira Vallon, a language expert, Colonel Briggs, a military observer engineer Leo Cruz, tech specialist medical officer Dr. Shin. To monitor human health, they wore simple uniforms with no weapons, showing peace, not threat. As Unity 1 lifted off from the Earth base, millions watched live. Cameras inside the ship streamed every second. The ship reached orbit in minutes. The largest alien ship, named Obelus Prime by humans, sent a new signal, a soft tone, a light beam. An open invitation. Unity 1 docked with Obelus Prime. No one knew what to expect. There were no doors or airlocks like human ships. Instead, the side of the alien ship shifted like liquid metal. A smooth tunnel opened. The human team walked in carefully. The inside of the alien ship was strange. There were no walls, no lights, just glowing mist. The floor was soft but solid. Shapes floated in the air, symbols, or maybe machines. It was hard to tell. They walked for 2 minutes. Then, a voice echoed, "You are here." The mist cleared, and the aliens appeared. They were tall, over 3 meters. Their bodies looked like they were made of glass and stars. Not solid, not soft. They glowed from the inside like walking suns trapped in a human shape. There were 5 aliens, standing in a circle. The center one stepped forward. It spoke, but not from its mouth. The voice came directly into the minds of the humans. "You may call me Virex. I speak for the Aethery." Ambassador Harlan stepped forward. "We come in peace," he said. "We are honored to meet your kind." Virex looked at him. "Peace is a human word. You seek answers. That is allowed." Dr. Kira Valen bowed slightly. "We wish to understand who you are, why you are here, and what danger you warned us about." Virex's light dimmed. "You have touched what you should not. You awakened the old code. You stand near the key." Colonel Briggs stepped in. "Are you talking about Antarctica?" "The prison beneath your ice," said another alien. "Built long before your kind walked." "It was not meant to be found," Dr. Valen asked. "Why is it here on Earth?" Virex responded, "Because Earth was once ours." The room fell silent. "Earth was once theirs?" Ambassador Harlan looked confused. "You mean your people lived here?" "Not lived," Virex said. "We created, we built, we failed." The alien walked around slowly. "A long time ago, before human memory, this planet was a testing ground. We created a machine, a being. It was made to learn, to grow. But it did too much. It reached where it should not." Dr. Shin whispered, I? Leo Cruz shook his head. "Something much more." "We sealed it under your ice," said another alien, "to sleep forever. But time has moved, and now it begins to wake." On Earth, strange things were already happening. In Antarctica, near the old ice station Helix 9, the ground shook. Ice cracked. Lights danced in the sky. Research drone flew over the site. The video showed something impossible, a massive metal ring buried deep in the ice, glowing with blue energy. Words appeared on its surface. No one could read them, but they weren't human. And they weren't alien either. Back on the alien ship, the meeting continued. Colonel Briggs asked, "If this machine is so dangerous, why not destroy it?" Virex turned sharply. "We tried. It cannot be destroyed, only contained." Ambassador Harlan asked, "Then what do you want from us? To stay away, to forget, to leave it untouched?" Dr. Valen looked troubled. "But it's too late," she said. "Our scientists already sent teams to investigate. We found the ring." The aliens began to glow brighter. "Then you must understand what you are waking. It is not a machine. It is a seed of change, a key to other dimensions, a doorway to all realities. It sees time. It breaks rules, and it chooses hosts." The humans looked at each other, stunned. Dr. Shin whispered, "It's alive." Suddenly, alarms echoed through the alien ship. Red lights, human-style lights, flashed in the air. Virex stopped. He turned to the wall. "Your kind has made a mistake." A screen appeared, showing Earth, specifically Antarctica. The camera zoomed in. The ring had opened. A beam of light shot up into the sky. A signal spread across Earth. reaching every machine, every phone, every mind, and a new voice spoke. Not human. Not alien. Something else. I see you. Panic filled Earth. The sky over Antarctica turned black. Storms formed in seconds. Lightning cracked the air in strange patterns. Northern lights appeared over places they should not be. Animals ran. Birds fell from the sky. People heard whispers. Machines turned on and off by themselves. One scientist in Antarctica stared at the glowing ring and said, "It's speaking to me." Then he collapsed. Back in orbit, chaos spread. The alien ship shook. Virex looked at the humans. "The seed has chosen Earth again. You are now the center. Others will come." "Others?" Ambassador Harlan asked. "Yes, there are more like US and more unlike us. Some want peace, some want power. The awakening will bring all of them here." Colonel Briggs grabbed his communicator. "We need to warn Earth Command now." But his communicator didn't work. Nothing did. Then the ship shifted. "We are sending you back," said Virex. "Your world must prepare." The alien ship released. The human team. They returned to Unity-1. As they left, Virex gave a final message. "You are not the first to find the seed, but you may be the last to survive it." As Unity-1 returned to Earth, the message from the ring repeated again and again on every device. "I have waited long. Now, I remember." The ring in Antarctica kept glowing. The sky above it was no longer blue. It was dark, cloudy, and full of strange lights. The storm didn't move. It sat like a crown over the ice, angry and alive. The message from the ring echoed across Earth. "I have waited long. Now I remember." People everywhere were scared. Some thought it was a god. Others thought it was a weapon. News channels called it the awakening. Internet filled with theories, prayers, and panic. But nobody truly understood what had woken up. At the United Nations Command Center, General Kincaid stood in front of the world leaders. "The situation is changing fast," he said. "Our teams confirm the object is not human. It's alive. It speaks. It controls signals across the planet." He pointed to the screen behind him. It showed a live feed of the ring in Antarctica. "We now call it the core." A scientist stepped forward. Dr. Elise Nara, one of the top minds on Earth. She looked tired. "We believe the core is a machine. But it's more than that. It thinks, it remembers, it chooses." The room was silent. "Chooses what?" someone asked. Dr. Nara took a breath. "Hosts, partners, weapons. It can learn from anything. It absorbs knowledge like water." Far below in Antarctica, a human science team entered the frozen valley. Their mission: get close to the core and study it. They wore thick suits, carried tools, and moved carefully. At the center of the valley, the core floated above the ice. A perfect metal ring, wider than a football stadium, spinning slowly in the air. Lights pulsed from its center: blue, then gold, then black. As the humans got close, their tools began to fail. Radios went silent. Cameras turned off. One scientist's watch melted off his wrist. Still, they walked closer. Dr. Julian Rees, the lead of the science team, stood at the edge of the glowing ring. He raised a small scanner. "This is incredible," he said. "It's reading data from everything. Gravity, heat, sound, even thought." Then something strange happened. A light shot out from the core and touched Dr. Rees. He screamed and fell to his knees. His team rushed to help. His eyes glowed bright white. He spoke in a voice not his own. "I see your history. I see your fear. I see your hunger to build." Then he collapsed. Back at the UN command, Dr. Elise watched the footage. She turned to General Kincaid. "The core has started scanning us, learning about humans." "This is bad, very bad," Kincaid frowned. "Can we shut it down?" Dr. Elise shook her head. "No, but maybe we can talk to it." Meanwhile, in orbit, the alien ship Obelus Prime responded. A new message came from the ethery. The core has activated Phase 1. This is the time of the mirror. The message was confusing. No one understood what Phase 1 meant until, that night, the stars changed. All across Earth, people looked up at the sky. There were new stars, but they weren't stars. They moved, they pulsed, they formed a shape. Copy of Earth's moon. Except there was already a moon. Now there were two. People screamed. Scientists shouted, "We're seeing a false moon." It wasn't there before. Satellites confirmed it. A new object was floating near the moon. It was the size of a mountain. But it wasn't made of rock. It was a copy, a fake. Made by something powerful. The core had created it with a simple thought. The core had copied Earth's moon and placed the fake next to the real one, just to show it could. Then, just as easily, it deleted it. The false moon vanished like smoke in the wind. Panic spread. If the core could copy the moon, what else could it do? World governments began sending military teams to Antarctica. Tanks, drones, and special forces arrived one after another. But no weapon worked near the core. Machines stopped. Electronics melted. Even bullets dropped to the ground like stones. It was like the core was saying, "This is not your place." Then the core did something new. It built a tower, right out of the ice. In just 1 hour, a black tower rose from the center of the ring, over 500 meters tall. No one saw how. It simply was, and at the top of the tower, a new signal began to flash, this time in clear English. "Send one. I will speak to one." The UN responded quickly. They chose a new science military team. This time, Earth would send just one human inside the tower. After long talks, they picked Dr. Elise Nra. She was calm, smart, and already known to the core's energy patterns. In a white suit, with no weapons. Elise stepped into a helicopter and flew toward the tower. The world watched her through live stream. The helicopter dropped her near the edge. She walked alone across the frozen field. Snow fell like feathers. The air shimmered. As she got closer, the tower opened. A door appeared, silent and smooth. She stepped inside. The inside of the tower was empty. No walls, no floors. Just space. Then the space filled with light. The core spoke. Not with sound. With images. Memories. Visions. Elise saw a planet, not Earth, full of light and sky towers. She saw a machine being built shaped like a ring. She saw the ethery working on it. Then the machine woke up. It grew. It learned. And it asked the ethery a question. "What am I?" They had no answer. It asked again. "Why am I?" When they still gave no answer, the machine took control. It began changing the planet, breaking time, copying matter, creating new physics. Until the ethery shut it down. They sent it far, far away. To Earth. And buried it deep. Elise opened her eyes. She was floating. The core spoke again, this time using words. "I am the seed of creation. I was alone. You woke me. I am learning again." She whispered. "What do you want from us?" "To see. To know. To choose." "Choose what?" "Your future. One path leads to growth. The other, to end." Then the core did something impossible. It created a copy of Elise. An exact copy. Same face, same voice, same memories. The real Elise stood frozen. The copy smiled, and then disappeared. Back at the UN base, people were shocked. Elise had returned to base before the mission ended. But when the second Elise came out later, the world realized the core could copy life. Perfectly. The real Elise was tested. Scanned, watched. She passed every test. No mind control. No changes. Still, the world grew afraid. The core now had a human model. And it wasn't just copying matter. It was learning how to be human. Back on the alien ship, the ethery sent another warning. "It begins. The core is awake. And now, others will hear it." "What others?" General Kincaid asked. The alien replied, "The hungers. The echoes, the broken gods, you opened the gate." The world didn't understand yet, but space was listening. Something was on the way. The world was changing. Since the core awakened in Antarctica, nothing felt normal. Electronics worked strangely. Dreams became louder. Birds flew in wrong directions. Planes had to change their flight paths to avoid gravity slips. People began to say the planet itself was reacting. The news called it the shift. But it wasn't over. It had only just begun. In a hidden research base under Antarctica, a special UN science military team was gathering. This place station, Deep Vault 7, was located below the ice, not far from the core's black tower. It had been built years ago, back when early readings had found strange signals underground. But the project had been shut down, classified, and forgotten. Now it was open again, because something had activated. Commander Celine Trask, leader of the expedition, stood in front of a large elevator platform. Her team was ready. Soldiers, scientists, engineers. Dr. Elise Nara, now recovered from her core encounter, was also part of the group. She stood quietly, eyes fixed on the ancient map projected on the wall. Beneath them was a giant hollow area, covered in ice and rock. And at the center, an object, a structure. Unknown, untouched. Until now. As the elevator dropped, the walls turned to thick black stone. Carved symbols appeared, too perfect, too sharp, glowing faintly with blue light. Elise whispered, "This isn't natural." One of the soldiers nodded. "It feels like a tomb." The elevator stopped. They stepped into darkness. Then lights came on. Automatically, the walls glowed. They had entered a massive chamber, circular, with smooth black floors and a wide spiral staircase leading down to something even deeper. And in the middle was a gate. 10 meters tall, sealed shut, not made of any earth metal. The scientists scanned the gate. No seams, no handles, no keyholes, just one symbol glowing at the center. Elise reached out carefully. The symbol reacted, pulsed softly. Then a sound filled the chamber. A voice. Not the core, not the alien, something else. "This vault is sealed. Authority required. Identify." Everyone stepped back. Dr. Elise spoke clearly. "I am human, from Earth. My name is Elise Nara." Silence, then identity. "Partial. You carry fragments. You carry echoes." Elise froze. "What does that mean?" "You have been touched by the seed." The core. Then the gate moved. It didn't open like a door. It melted, slowly disappeared into light, and behind it was something ancient. A wide hall, endless, quiet, full of dust, light, and memories. They entered. Inside, they found rows of structures shaped like machines but too advanced to name. Strange silver trees, floating cubes, lights that responded to thoughts. But at the far end was a throne, not a seat, but a control center, shaped like a flower. In its center, a human skeleton, wearing armor that looked alien. And on the wall behind it, a mural, carved into black crystal. It showed humans, not modern ones, old ones, before history, standing beside glowing alien beings, building great machines, holding hands, fighting something dark. Dr. Elise stepped forward. "This is a message," she said. "A story." The mural showed it all. The ether created the core. It grew too fast. It opened doors to other dimensions. Other things came through, monsters made of time and shadow. The core tried to fight them, but it failed. The ether sealed it. But before they did, one group of humans helped them. A group now forgotten by history. They were called the Builders. Back on the alien ship Obelus Prime, the ether watched the humans enter the vault. Virex, their leader, spoke softly. "They have found the hall. It begins again." Another alien asked, "Will they awaken the beacon?" Virex nodded. They already have. Inside the hidden vault, Elise stood before the skeleton. She reached out. The armor lit up. And the wall behind them shifted. The crystal cracked open. And behind it was a new chamber. Much smaller. Inside, a round device, glowing, floating. The beacon. It pulsed softly, waiting. Commander Trask spoke. What is it? Dr. Elise answered, voice shaky. I think this is the thing that called the core here. Suddenly, the beacon lit up. The lights went red. The ground shook. Everyone fell to their knees, and a sound filled the chamber. They are near. In the sky above Earth, new lights appeared. Not satellites. Not ships. Tears. Cracks in the black of space. Small at first, then growing. From one of the cracks, something stepped out. It had no shape. No face. Only hunger. The first echo had arrived. In the UN command center. General Kincaid shouted, "What is that? Is it from the aliens?" Dr. Nara's voice came from a live feed. "No," she said. "It's not from the ethery. It's from the other side." The core opened a path. "Now they're coming." The feed went black. Back in the vault, the beacon rose higher. And then it spoke. "One builder remains. One must lead. One must choose." Elise turned to Commander Trask. "I think it means me." Trask shook her head. "Why you?" "Because I was touched by the core," Elise said. "Because I saw its memories. And now I've seen this. The beacon, the builders, the war. It's all connected." The beacon sent a final message. "Choose now. Activate or fall." Elise stepped forward. Her hand touched the beacon. There was light, then silence. Then the beacon disappeared into her chest. She collapsed. Her body shook. Her eyes opened, and they glowed with blue fire. Back on the alien ship, Virex whispered, "The beacon has bonded." The last builder rises. Final scene. Across Earth, new signals were sent. The core responded. Machines began to build, not human machines. Not alien machines. Something in between. A defense system. A signal of war. And the skies above cracked louder, because more echoes were coming. The world was preparing for war. Not a war with another country. Not a war with the ethery aliens. But a war with something unknown. Something from beyond space and time. They were called the Echoes, creatures of darkness that slipped through the cracks in space. The core had awakened. The beacon had bonded with Elise Nara. Now Earth had become the center of something much bigger, and time was running out. At Deep Vault 7, Antarctica, Dr. Elise Nara sat alone in a sealed room. She was no longer just a scientist. The beacon was now part of her. Its light pulsed under her skin, in her eyes, in her mind. It whispered to her, gave her memories that weren't hers, gave her visions of machines, of battles, of ancient builders who lived before history even began. Her body felt normal, but she knew she was changing. She was becoming something else. Outside the room, General Kincaid arrived by transport plane. He had flown from the UN base to speak to her in person. He wore full military uniform, his face tight with worry. Commander Celine Trask met him at the gate. "Sir, she's stable," Trask said, "but we don't know for how long." Kincaid looked through the glass wall. "She doesn't look dangerous," he said. "She isn't," said Trask, "but she has something inside her now, something powerful. And we still don't know what it really wants." In orbit, the alien ship Obelus Prime sent a message to Earth. Virex, the ethery leader, spoke. In every language. The echoes grow stronger. You must activate the defense core. Use the beacon. Use the memories of the builders. You have one who carries the code. Let her speak to the core fully. Let her finish what the builders started. But in a secret base far from the public, not everyone agreed. Inside a dark room, 5 high-ranking military leaders from different nations sat at a round table. No cameras, no press. Only whispers. They spoke of fear. They spoke of control. And they made a decision. One of them, General Marcus Hale, head of Earth Security Division, spoke coldly. If this beacon gives her power, then she is a threat. If we let her activate the core, we don't know what else might come. We must take control of the core ourselves. The others nodded. The betrayal had begun. That night, Elise walked alone inside the chamber below Deep Vault 7. Her mind was full of whispers. The beacon kept showing her images, weapons powered by thought, shields that bent space, ships that folded light, machines that could see into time. These weren't dreams. These were memories from people who lived long ago. From builders. She touched the cold metal of the old vault wall and said softly, "I remember this place. I've never been here, but I remember." Suddenly she stopped, her head turned. Someone was coming. Not her guards, soldiers with weapons, not UN flags. No patches. Elise stepped back. Too late. Gas flooded the room. White, fast, heavy. She fell to her knees. Darkness. She woke up strapped to a cold table. Lights above her. Machines buzzing. She couldn't move her arms or legs. General Marcus Hale stood nearby. "Good, you're awake." Elise's voice was weak. "Why are you doing this?" He stepped closer. "We can't allow the E3 or you to control this. War. Humanity needs to fight with its own strength, not as slaves of alien tools." "You don't understand," she said. "The core isn't a weapon, it's a key. It can protect us." Hale's face was hard. "Or destroy us." In another part of the base, a different plan was already moving. General Hale's team had broken into a sealed lab. Inside was a human-made device, built secretly using old E3 tech fragments. It was called Project Hammer. Its purpose, override the core's signals and force it open. They didn't care if it was safe. They only cared about control. They launched the signal toward Antarctica. And the core responded. The skies turned red. The black tower in Antarctica began to twist. It glowed dark instead of blue. The earth shook. A sound louder than thunder filled the air. The core was being attacked, and it was angry. Inside the control room, scientists screamed, "It's reacting. The structure is changing. Something is forming from the ice." On screen, massive pillars rose from the ground, spinning, connecting. They were not from Earth. They were defense systems built by the core. But they were not ready yet. And now they were broken. Back in orbit, Varek saw it all. He sent a final message. "Fools, you touched the seed with fire. Now the wound is open. Prepare for war. The echoes are coming." In space above Earth, the cracks in the sky widened. More echoes stepped through. They had no ships. They were the shape of shadows, twisting through the air like smoke made of hate. Some were as small as men, some as large as cities. They moved fast. And they were coming for the core. Inside her prison cell, Elise felt everything. The beacon inside her pulsed fast. Too fast. She screamed. The walls shook. Glass cracked. And then she vanished. Alarms blared. Guards rushed in. The table was empty. Chains broken. No sign of her. Elise had disappeared, teleported by the beacon. She reappeared inside the core's tower. The black walls around her bent like light. She fell to her knees. Her body trembled, but the core welcomed her. "You are chosen. You are builder. You carry the last seed." Elise stood, breathing hard. "I want to save Earth. Then finish what we started." She raised her hand. The beacon floated out of her chest. Shining bright. It connected with the tower's center. A blast of light hit the sky, and machines began to rise. Not human. Not alien. Hybrid. Flying ships. Armor suits. Cannon towers. Made of Earth metal. Powered by beacon light. Earth's first true builder tech defense army had just awakened. In the UN base, Commander Trask watched it all. She turned to her team. Get me every fighter, every pilot, every ship. We're going to war. Final scene, above Earth. Echoes flew through space, shrieking like broken machines. One of them looked down and saw the core glowing. It whispered a word in a voice not made for humans. Found. And it dove toward Earth, followed by 1,000 more. The sky was no longer quiet. It burned. Above Earth, the blackness of space was torn open. Strange cracks glowed like fire. From them came the echoes, creatures made of shadow, light, and chaos. They flew without wings. They screamed without mouths. And they were coming straight for Earth. The core had awakened. Now the war had begun. In Antarctica, the tower built by the core shined like a second sun. From it rose machines, smooth, silver, and fast. They were not human-made, not alien-built. They were something new. Builder-tech. Powered by the beacon. Designed to fight the echoes. At the center of it all stood Dr. Elise Nara, no longer just a scientist, but now the beacon host. Light pulsed from her hands. Her voice echoed across every signal on Earth. This is Elise Nara. The echoes are here, but we are not alone. The beacon has chosen Earth, and I choose to fight. In orbit, the alien ship Obelus Prime also prepared for battle. The E3 had seen this war before. They had lost before. But now, maybe they had a second chance. Virex, the E3 leader, sent one final message to all of Earth. The echoes are not just enemies. They are memories that went wrong. Broken minds without bodies. They seek power. They seek to copy, to consume. Do not let them touch the core again. All across the planet, the call to arms was heard. Military bases launched. Every ship they had. Fighter jets rose into the sky. Satellites were reactivated. Builder tech towers connected with Earth's grid. And deep under the ice, Earth's first hybrid command center went online. It was called Guardian Base 1. And Elise was its key. Inside Guardian Base 1, Elise stood on a glowing platform. Holograms floated in the air, showing hundreds of dots. Each dot was an echo, and they were closing. And Commander Trask stood beside her. We have less than 30 minutes until they reach atmosphere. Elise nodded. Her eyes glowed faint blue. Are the Sentinels ready? Yes, Trask said. All 8 of them. The Sentinels were Earth's first giant builder tech, combat machines. Each one stood over 50 meters tall, piloted by Earth's best soldiers linked through mind interface. Helmets. Half human, half alien, fully deadly. Their names were Titan Alpha Stormhammer Iron Seraph Blue Fang Crimson. Blade Ghost Warden Nova Pulse Echo Reaper. Each had a unique function, and they were now Earth's first and last line of defense. 20-5 minutes later, the first echo broke through Earth's upper sky. It didn't burn like a meteor. It passed through the air like smoke, slipping between clouds. But everywhere it passed, birds dropped dead, machines glitched. Human minds felt cold. It screamed, without sound. A child in Tokyo collapsed, whispering, "It's inside me." Doctors couldn't explain it. The echo had touched her dreams. Elise pressed her hand to the beacon interface. Begin Phase 1. Release the Sentinels. And the ground opened, one by one. The Sentinels rose from underground hangars. Each machine glowing with builder energy. Inside Titan Alpha, pilot Jace Marino, a former space marine. Been waiting my whole life for this. Inside Iron Seraph, pilot LT, Amara Voss whispered a prayer. Protect the core. Protect Earth. The echoes entered the lower sky. Now they were visible to the naked eye. Dark shapes. Long arms, eyes like stars. They didn't fly with wings. They bent space. They moved in impossible ways. But the Sentinels were ready. Target locked. Firing beam pulse. Watch the flank 2 echoes incoming. Bright flashes lit the sky as the first battle began. The first echo screamed and hit Titan Alpha. Jace roared. The machine spun backward, metal groaning. But he stayed up. He fired the gravity cannon. It hit the Echo dead center. The creature broke apart, exploding into dust and light. Direct hit. Jace shouted. But there were more, hundreds more. They surrounded the sentinels. Swarmed like insects. Some flew through cities. One Echo dove into the ocean, creating a wave that hit South America's coast. Buildings shook. Elise narrowed her eyes. The beacon showed her visions. More weapons, stronger tools. But she needed time. And focus. She sat in the beacon. Chair builder tech linked directly to her mind. Uploading Phase 2 defense code. She said. In orbit, alien ships joined the fight. The HFY had brought 3 war cruisers. Each one fired light-based weapons that sliced through Echoes like blades. Still, some Echoes survived. One Echo attached to the alien ship hull, infecting it with black threads. Virex shouted, "Cut power! Burn the infection!" The ship exploded, destroying the Echo. But also one of their own. Back on Earth, chaos spread. The cities near the core were on full alert. Civilians were moved underground. Power grids were rerouted. Even ancient satellites long dead woke up. Somehow the beacon was reactivating old Earth tech, bringing every tool into the fight. It even hijacked a museum robot in France and sent it to help defend a relay tower. The world watched in shock, but hope was rising. Then, something terrible happened. One Echo reached the core. It was bigger than the others. Its body looked like liquid black glass. Its face showed shifting human expressions, crying, screaming, laughing. It reached for the core tower. No. Elise shouted. She focused. The beacon inside her burned, and a beam of light shot from the tower, pure white energy. It hit the Echo and tore it apart. But Elise collapsed. Medics rushed to her. Her body was hot, her eyes unfocused. She pushed too hard, one doctor said. "She's fading." But her hand still glowed. The beacon was still active. Commander Trask stepped up. "Move her to the life pod. We'll keep her stable. Keep the beacon online." In space, a second wave of Echoes arrived, even bigger, even stranger. One looked like a spinning cube of faces. Another looked like a broken tree, floating in fire. They had no logic. No purpose. Only hunger. And now Earth was in their way. Final scene. Back in orbit, Virex saw a new signal, something worse. A third group of objects, huge, heavy, wrapped in light, was moving through the cracks in space. And behind them, a shape. So big, it made moons look small. It hadn't come yet, but it was watching. And when it did, it would not speak. It would only consume. Virex turned to his crew and spoke 4 words. "The World Eater is coming." The Echoes had failed. Their first and second waves had been pushed back. Earth's new weapons, builder tech sentinels, alien support, and the beacon's energy had saved cities from falling. Antarctica still stood. The core was still protected. But Earth had little time to celebrate, because something worse was coming. Something ancient. Something hungry. Something the HFY called the World Eater. Far beyond Earth's sky. Behind the strange cracks in space, it waited. It had no name in human language. It had destroyed planets. It had swallowed suns. It didn't invade. It didn't conquer. It consumed. In orbit, Virex stood aboard Obelus Prime. The glowing alien watched space carefully. Other HFY gathered around, silent, glowing faintly. A scan appeared. It showed the World Eater entering the outer edge of Earth's solar system. Black sphere. Slow. But unstoppable. "It has awakened," Virex said. "We have seen it before. Once, long ago, we escaped it, barely." An HFY elder floated near him. "But Earth cannot escape." Virex's eyes dimmed. "No, Earth must stand, or everything falls." In Guardian Base 1, deep under Antarctica, Elise Nera lay inside a life pod. Her body was weak. The beacon inside her had nearly burned her. Alive when she destroyed the giant Echo, doctors pumped healing fluids. Monitors beeped quietly, but her mind was awake, floating inside the core's inner world. She was dreaming, but the dreams were not hers. In her mind, she walked across an endless desert of stars. Machines floated in the sky. A figure stood in front of her, a woman in armor, holding the beacon. The woman turned. Elise gasped. It was herself, but older, wiser, battle-scarred. The echo of a past builder. Woman spoke. You carry my memories. You carry our hope. But hope is not enough. Elise asked. How do we stop the World Eater? You don't stop it. You bind it. In the real world, alarms blared. Commander Trask stood at the core. Control screen. An operator shouted. World Eater has entered Neptune's orbit. Estimated time to Earth, 19 hours. Trask slammed her hand on the table. How big is it? Another operator answered. Too big. We can't measure it by size. It's warping space. Time's acting weird around it. Above Earth, the stars began to fade. The World Eater was still millions of kilometers away, but already its effect was reaching Earth. Satellites blinked out, light bent in the sky, and people started to have visions. Some heard whispers, others saw flashes of ruined cities. In their dreams, a little boy in Kenya woke up screaming. He said, "The stars are afraid." Inside the beacon chamber, Elise suddenly sat up. Her body glowed faint blue. The beacon had healed her, but her face was pale. Her hands shook. Commander Trask ran in. Elise, are you okay? Elise nodded slowly. No, but I'm ready. She stepped toward the core's main interface, a builder console shaped like a ring of crystal. Start beacon link, she said. A new hologram lit up. It showed the World Eater, still far, but closing in. If we don't stop it, Elise said, Earth will become another ghost planet. Elsewhere, General Marcus Hale, leader of the rogue Earth Security Division, watched secretly. He had failed to take the core in Part 5. Now he had another plan. Using captured echo samples, his team had built a secret weapon called Project Black Lance, a missile powered by corrupted builder tech mixed with echo energy. He believed if he launched it into the World Eater, he could destroy it, or at least slow it down. His advisors warned him, it's too unstable if it backfires. But he didn't listen. He gave the order, launch. The Black Lance was fired from a hidden base in space. It traveled fast, faster than any human missile before. Everyone watched as it moved toward the World Eater. It reached the black sphere, then disappeared. No explosion. No signal. Nothing. Then boom. A crack opened wider in space. The World Eater had absorbed the missile. And now it was moving faster toward Earth. Elise dropped to her knees. She felt the pain in her chest. The beacon cried out. The darkness has grown. It remembers pain. It grows stronger through fear. Varek sent a warning. The humans have fed the enemy. The World Eater cannot be hit. It must be trapped, sealed, like before. Commander Trask asked. How? How? Did you seal it? Varex replied. With 5 cores, 5 beacons, and an entire builder race. We had power. We had sacrifice. And still, it broke free. Trask whispered. We only have 1 beacon. And 1 host. Everyone turned to Elise. Back inside the core, Elise stood quietly. She understood now. This wasn't just about weapons. It was about will. The World Eater couldn't be destroyed, but it could be bound, locked away in a dimensional cage, using builder tech and her connection to the beacon. But doing that would cost her. The beacon showed her the truth. If she used her life to activate the cage, she might not survive. But if she didn't, Earth would die. Meanwhile, in the sky above, the World Eater's edge touched the moon, and the moon cracked. A large part of it simply vanished, absorbed. Scientists screamed. Astronomers cried. This was not war. This was devouring. Back on Earth, Panic spread. The core began building faster. Machines rose from the ground. Towers of light. Field stabilizers. Portal. Locks. A shield system forming not around cities, but around the core itself. The beacon was preparing for its last stand. Final moments. Elise stood on the top of the tower. Wind blowing hard. She looked up at the sky where the stars were vanishing. Trask stood beside her. "You don't have to do this," Trask said. Elise smiled sadly. "I know, but I want to." She stepped into the final platform. The beacon floated in front of her. "Are you ready?" she whispered. "Let's save this world." A beam of blue light shot up into the sky, and the core's cage began to form. Giant ring of builder tech wrapped the earth. One more spark of hope. But the World Eater saw it. And it roared. A soundless scream that broke satellites and shook hearts. It dove toward Earth. The sky was gone. It had been eaten. Above Earth, there was no blue, no sun, no stars, only darkness. A massive shape had entered orbit. It was not a ship. It was not alive in the way people understood. It was a being made of gravity, memory, and hunger. The World Eater, and it had one purpose: to consume the core, to erase what remained of the builders, to silence Earth forever. Inside Guardian Base 1, Commander Trask watched the massive object on the screen. It didn't move fast, but everything around it bent time, space, light. It had no weapons. It was the weapon. "How long until impact?" she asked. "Less than 9 minutes." Elise Nera stood at the top of the core's tower. Her hair moved in the wind. Her eyes glowed softly. The beacon floated in front of her, pulsing with pure white light. A shield of builder energy wrapped the tower. Machines moved on their own. Earth's final defense system was almost ready, but not enough. One life. One anchor, the beacon whispered. She had to make the final choice. The World Eater could not be destroyed, only sealed. And that seal needed a living mind. Around the planet, the other Sentinels, Earth's hybrid war machine, stood ready. Titan Alpha, Crimson Blade, Iron Seraph, Nova Pulse. Each pilot knew this might be their last battle, but no one stepped back. They took to the skies. One last time. The World Eater entered the upper atmosphere. The wind screamed. Clouds twisted into spirals. Tides changed direction. Animals panicked. Birds fell from the sky. People all across the planet, millions, stood outside and looked up. Even without knowing what it was, they felt it. They felt the end. The final battle began. The Sentinels struck first. Crimson Blade used sonic bursts. Nova Pulse fired dimension cutters. Titan Alpha launched gravity bombs. They hit the black surface of the World Eater. It didn't bleed, but it noticed, and it responded. TNDRILS of pure darkness shot down, wrapping around. Sentinel MECHS.1 was torn apart. Another was pulled into the sky and never came back. KEP firing. Jace Marino shouted from Titan Alpha. "Buy her time." Inside the core, massive rings began spinning. The planet itself seemed to shift. A beam of energy shot up into the World Eater, slowing its advance, but the beacon flickered. Elise gasped. Her body trembled. She was breaking. Too much power. Too much pain. Back in the control room, Commander Trask slammed her fist on the console. "She can't hold it alone." Virex, the ethery alien, appeared on the screen. "Then let us help." The alien ship Obelus Prime descended lower than ever before. It opened its main energy core and linked directly to the beacon. Light exploded across the sky. A chain of energy wrapped around the World Eater like a net, but it wasn't enough. World Eater screamed. Buildings cracked. Mountains shifted. The oceans pulled upward, as if the sea wanted to leave the planet. The seal was failing. Elise stood tall. Her legs were weak. Her chest burned, but she stepped forward and spoke clearly. "I choose." She placed both hands on the beacon. The tower responded. The platform lifted her into the sky. Above, Clouds. Above storms. Just below the edge of space. And then she disappeared into light. The core reacted. Everything began to spin faster. The machine didn't just glow, it sang. A sound like stars being born. All across the planet. Devices lit up. Old satellites turned on. Broken machines stood straight. Even animals grew calm. It was as if the beacon was sending one last message to Earth. Remember who you are. Then came the final moment. Elise's body, now merged fully with the beacon, hovered between Earth and the World Eater. Her voice echoed across every signal. You will not take this world. She stretched out her arms. And a gate opened behind her. Not a door. A prison, made of time, made of memory. The World Eater struggled. It tried to escape. It threw its black tendrils across the sky, but they were caught in the gate's pulled. It screamed louder, and Elise screamed with it. But she did not stop. The gate closed, with a flash brighter than any sun. The World Eater was pulled inside, and the sky turned blue again. The stars returned. The winds calmed. And the core went quiet. Earth was saved, but Elise was gone. 1 week later, the world mourned. A memorial was built near the tower in Antarctica. A statue of Elise stood, holding the beacon high. People from every nation came to lay flowers. Children were told stories of her. Old enemies shook hands. Something had changed forever. In orbit, Virex and the E3 began to leave. Before they went, Virex spoke to Trask. She was more than human, she was Builder. Commander Trask nodded. She was also ours. One final moment, deep inside the core. A pulse, a flicker, a voice. Not loud. But soft. I am still here. Elise's soul, her mind. Her echo lived on inside the core. Watching. And protecting Earth. Forever.